I wish I had that enthusiasm. Which reminds me, quite interesting segue because it's true. When I was a kid, when I was very young, I was invited to a lot of parties. And boy, that made me feel good, you know, to be wanted. The problem with it, the downer was every time the girl or the guy called me, he said, oh, Harry, you want you at the party? The end was, oh, and bring a deck of cards. You know, and that was kind of a downer, you know. I figured I wanted them to love me for me, you know, not for my talent, but I don't want to knock the talent, but one of the things that used to happen quite often, the reason I mentioned that is, oh, they would hand me a deck of cards, and I always say I'm very hard to start, but it's harder to stop me, man. I would go on for a few hours, and I was tired, and sure as shooting, whenever I was tired, and I was single in those days, and I'd meet a girl, and I'm trying to make time and talk to the girl. Sure enough, somebody would come in late, and the host or hostess would say, oh, Harry, would you do a trick for that person? You know, and I said, oh, gosh, I just done 3 hours of magic, you know. In those years, that was my short performance, you know. So what I used to do, and it's kind of a true story, it's, oh, all right, you know, and I was busy having a drink, talking to this girl, and this was you're the new person that just came in, and I'd say, oh, all right, look, let me do just one trick. And I wasn't really interested. See, I was interested in talking to this girl. I said, I'll tell you what, would you do me a favor? Would you reach into the middle of the deck, sort of, and pull out any card? Just reach into the center, would you? And pull out any card. Meanwhile, I was talking to this guy. Oh, look at the card and show it to at least one other person. Put it on top of the deck, would you? Oh, and give the deck a cut. You know, give it a complete cut. Yeah, that's the idea. And I would still do. Did you cut the deck? Use this hand now and cut the deck again. I want to see how you do it with that hand. Let me see. Oh, you're doing it well, good. And I'd be, give another cut, would you? Just keep cutting till I tell you to stop. and you know, I'm getting a phone number. Would you cut him once more? And I was getting your hand getting a little. Would you turn the deck face up for me? Turn them face up, right? And while they're face up, give them another cut, would you? And when can I call you? On weekdays? Yeah, give another cut. And I would go on like this. Half the time I'd forget, you know. But fine, I turned the deck face down. Oh, incidentally, you know, how many times did you cut? You mean you didn't count them? Oh, shucks. Well, I think I counted about 14. 14 cards. Put your finger on the deck, just one finger. 14 cuts brings your card to 8th from the top. Your card is 8th. No. Don't loosen your finger. See, no. You just brought it up to 4th. No. Keep your hand pressed down. You just brought it to 2nd from the. Your card is 2nd from the top, but your card is 2nd from the top. What was your card? What was it? Do you remember it? 5 of diamonds. I told you it was second. You don't believe me, do you? Take the top card, put it here. That's 1. Look at the second card. Did I ever lie to you before? I said, okay. All right. The lazy man's card trick. I did this for so many years, and I kind of did it the way you saw it in the performance video. And you remember what happened. I had the spectator reach into the deck, and again, let me repeat, always shuffling. I had the spectator reach into the deck, but the pattern, the storyline, at least my storyline, you can change it any way you like, is that when I was very young, I used to be invited to people's parties, but they always ended up by saying, bring a deck of cards, which was kind of a downer for me. I wanted them to love me for me, you know, not for my talent. But that's okay, it worked out. And usually they'd hand me a deck of cards, and I would do 3-4 hours of magic. In those days, as I may have said before, it's hard to start me, but it's harder to stop me, you know. And I would finish. Now I'm enjoying myself, having a drink, talking to a girl perhaps. This is before I was married. And sure as shooting, it never failed. Somebody would come late, a couple would come late. And the host or hostess would always say to me, oh, Harry, can you do a trick for these people? They didn't see it, and so forth and so on. At this point, I was tired. I was talking to a young lady or doing business, whatever. And I'd say, okay, but I was tired. I didn't want to pay attention. So I'd say to the person, would you just reach into the deck and pull out a card? Would you just reach into the deck and pull out a card? Now, ordinarily, I would say, reach into the center of the deck. Let me backtrack now and show you my setup. The setup is a 10-card setup. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 of one suit. I always use spades because that's what I'm used to. I don't want, if I am really tired when I'm doing something like this and I set up clubs and I thought it was spades or vice versa, it would throw the trick. So I always use the same suit. That way there's no memory problem. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, up to 10 with the ace on bottom. I always say to the spectator, just pull a card out of center. I say center because I don't want him to get near bottom and take one of my setup cards. So, show the card, would you, Steve? What is it? The Jack of Spades, fine. And my pattern is put it on the top of the deck, would you? And give the deck a cut. Meanwhile, I'm talking to the other person, give it another cut. That's the pattern line, that's the acting, as if I'm paying no attention, which I really don't have to. I just have to make sure that the person is doing complete cuts. And I do see that at first, okay? So cut the deck again, and I'm talking cut. Just keep cutting till I tell you to stop. I usually do that while I'm talking, and I'd finally say, is your wrist starting to hurt a little bit yet? And I would get a laugh, and the person would say, yeah. And I'd say, would you turn the deck face up, please? And give them another cut. Would you cut again? Now, at this point, I keep glancing at the deck while I'm patterning, because I'm going to have the person continue to cut until I see a spade come to the face of the deck. So cut again, and you can cut off center. You can cut any way you like. I say that, what I just said, yeah, cut off center. Yeah, go ahead. Something happened there that might kind of kill the thing, but cut again. Yeah, and I do that until a spade shows. At this point, as if it could be at any time, I say, oh, that's fine. How many times did you cut? Turn the deck face down. How many times did you cut? Of course, they never know. Oh, you know, oh, I think you cut about 14 times. Yeah, 14 times. If you cut 14 times, your card should come to about the 8th position. Put your finger on the deck. Oh, no, don't loosen up. You see, it just moved up to 6th. No, you moved your finger again. Now it's 3rd. I just keep doing it. I know it's 3rd because I saw a 3. That's the whole point. Whatever card I see at the face tells me where the selected card is. What I just did is just build up showmanship, call it whatever you like. But I always do it that way. I name a number higher than where it is. And I say, oh, no, you moved your finger again. It just went up to 6. No, you keep moving your finger. Don't do that. Keep it, I'll build it up any way you like. It's 3rd. And I always say, you don't believe me, do you? Well, let's try something. What was your card? Jack of Spades. Count off, and I have the person count face down, because otherwise they're going to see a run of spades, because there are your spades here, see? And if it was 7th, you would see a lot more spades. So, obviously I don't, so I have them deal face down, says, one at a time, and I told you it was 3rd, 1, 2, what was your card again? Jack of Spades. Take a look at that card, and of course it's the correct card, and everybody falls down, okay? So that's all there is to it. Now, just to make sure you have it in your mind, if I had seen this as he was cutting, I'd say, no, that you did enough. Turn the deck face down. I don't want the spade showing too long. Nobody's paying attention anyway, and it appears as if I'm not paying attention, but I sure am. I need to see that number. So when I see 6, I haven't put his finger. I ask, how many times do you cut? And if it was 6, I'd say, then that brings it, you cut 14 times, that brings it to about 18th. Put your finger on, oh no, you moved your finger, oh, you just moved it to the 9th. No, you keep moving your fingers. Now it's 6, don't move your finger. And I end saying the correct number, in this case 6, and then I have them deal, and they come to their card. I think it's a pretty good trick. That's the way it's done. I'll give you one more point. I know none of you are going to use it. When this came out in a book in 1962, everybody knew how it was done, at least magicians did. I wanted to fool magicians, so I did something that I could do. I don't know if you can. I memorized 10 cards in order, any 10 mixed cards, and did the trick that way. And then I let them count face up, or I left the cards they counted, because sure shooting, they're going to grab it and look at them. They saw all mixed cards. So I did it by memorizing 10 cards in order. You have to know them in order so I could say what number the card is. I thought I'd mention that in case you want to do it. I know most people are not going to do it, so pick up my memory course. I'll teach you how to do it. Then you can do it.
What I want you to do, I want you to take the deck and I want you to start dealing down cards. Whenever you get the urge to stop, I want you to stop dealing, mark the spot where you stopped with the queen, and throw the deck on top. Would you do that with the Queen of Hearts? Sure. Start dealing the cards down, as many or few as you like. Whenever you feel like stopping the deal, mark the spot, throw the deck on top. Now let me illustrate what you have just done. You have just separated those queens by an arbitrary number of cards, the number of cards you just dealt. Now I want you to do this 2 more times. One time with the Queen of Diamonds, one time with the Queen of Spades. Deal down as many or few as you like. Mark the spot, throw the deck on top, and one more time with the Queen of Spades. Many or few as you like. and mark the spot. Now what you have done is you have reversed or placed those 4 queens in different parts in the deck. The amazing thing is, right next to this queen of clubs, you found its mate, the king of clubs. Right next to the queen of hearts, you found its mate, the king of hearts. Right next to the queen of diamonds, you found its mate, the king of diamonds. And right next to the queen of spades, you found its mate, the king of spades. Now I'm going to show you how this is done. This is an effect I created a couple years ago. And the only thing that you need to do is remember a small setup. The spectator does the whole trick. Now what we need to do is get a hold of the kings, and we're going to put them in clubs, hearts, spades, diamonds order. You might want to remember that by the word chased, C-H-S-D. Left out a few letters, but that's the mnemonic. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the king and put it on the bottom. I'm going to take any 4 cards out of the center and place those 4 cards underneath the top. So the situation is I have a king, 4 indifferent cards, the 2 kings, and then I have a king on the bottom. Now the queens on the table you have in clubs, hearts, diamonds, spades order. At this point you're ready to begin. You start off by illustrating to the spectator what you want them to do. You say, I want you to start dealing the cards down, and when you feel like stopping, stop and mark the spot with the queen. Well, you don't stop anywhere. You stop at precisely 5 cards. You mark the spot with the queen, and at this point you throw the deck on top. Now look what happens. There's the king of clubs. That matches that queen. So there's our key card getting placed right on top of the queen. Also at this point you have a king here, and you have 2 kings here. You give the deck to the spectator and say, do this with the queen of hearts. Deal down as many or few as you like. She has to deal down at least 2. That's your only requirement. Whenever you feel like stopping, stop. Mark the spot. Now, let's show the camera what's going to happen. Right next to the queen, then, gets placed its mate, the king. Okay, at the situation right at the moment is I've got 2 kings on the bottom. I need to bring one of those kings up to the top. And the way I do this is I spread the cards, say, let me illustrate what you just did. I grab the bottom card for a pointer and I point and say, see what you did? You dealt an arbitrary number of cards between those queens. At this point, as a casual gesture, I just put the card back on top of the deck and square. Say, would you do this again with the queen of diamonds? Deal down as many or few as you like, whenever you feel like stopping. Doesn't matter where they stop, because right on the bottom now, there's our matching king. And you throw that on top. You say, do it again. One more time, as many or few as you like. Mark the spot. And of course, the bottom card now is our matching king, the king of spades. So at this point, you just gather the cards, spread them on the table, and you say, right next to the queen of clubs, you found its mate, the king of clubs. Right next to the queen of hearts is its mate, the king of hearts. Next to the queen, right next to the queen of diamonds, the king of diamonds. And right next to the queen of spades, the king of spades.
Sometimes when I'm tired, I go home to my parlor. No, sometimes when I'm tired and I don't really feel like using sleight of hand to find a selected card, I use the assistance of a very special card in the deck, the Whispering Queen. Ooh. That, of course, would be the Queen of Spades, and I believe she is there. The Whispering Queen. Allow me to show you how she got her name. Would you help me with this, please? Terrific. Excellent. What I'm going to do is just sort of riffle through the cards. Anytime you'd like, call out the word stop. All right? Stop. Right there. I won't look. Take a look at the card. Remember what it is. Don't let me see it, but please show it to the Whispering Queen. Pass the face over the face of the Whispering Queen. Then hide your selection. Put it on the table, but cover it with your hand. Okay. So even if the cards were marked, I certainly wouldn't see anything.
Right.
Well, except for, no, not the Queen. No, your card. I already know what the queen is. Okay. So cover your card, leave the whispering queen. Oh, good, because the only way to find your card is with the help of the whispering queen. Oh, whispering queen, what was the card? Oh, really? She tells me it was the 9 of diamonds. Was she right? She was indeed. Thank you. Thank you. The whispering queen, very, very easy. What you do is you remove a queen. You can either glimpse at the card, or it's even faster and easier to force the card. So you have a force card on the bottom of the deck. The whispering queen is removed in advance, and you can say to somebody, call out stop anytime you'd like. They say stop. You say, look at your card. In fact, take the card out, show it to everybody, including the whispering queen, and then cover it with your hand. Then all you do is you take the whispering queen, you pretend to listen to it. You don't listen to anything. You already know what the force card is, so you just name 2 of diamonds. And sure enough, there it is, the whispering queen.
Thank you. We're back from lunch. Cassandra has poisoned Janelle over Scotty. Now Janelle has 24 hours to find her true birth parents. You know, I got to tell you something, which I haven't told you over all these other tricks. I have a lucky card. I'm not kidding. I really have one. I keep it with me. I keep it in my wallet with my credit cards, my lucky card. And ever since I put my lucky card in with my wallet and carried it with me, I've been lucky. I know it's hard to believe in. Janelle, do you have a lucky card?
Yes.
Oh, you do? I didn't know. It's probably not the same as mine. What's your lucky card?
7 of hearts.
You're kidding me, really? That's so weird. Because there's lots of cards in a deck, right? My lucky card is in my wallet. I told you that, right? I told you it was in with my credit cards. Didn't I tell you that?
Yes.
Now, I don't remember your... What was yours again?
7 of hearts.
There, 7 of hearts. So this is your lucky card. Mine, I said it was in with my wallet. I keep it next to the Magic Castle membership card. I do.
Okay.
What? You don't believe me? What?
I believe you.
Well, thank you. I don't know where my Magic Castle membership card is, though. It's somewhere. It's not in here. I only have one lucky card. Oh, it's in the next one. I remember. My Magic Castle lucky card, it's in this section. Find my Magic Castle membership card, please. Yeah, I think it's in there. Is my Magic Castle card in there? Oh, there it is. Is there a little card next to it?
Yeah.
Oh, can you put it down here?
Aww.
Anything else in there?
It's cute. It's a midget. It's a mini card. It's a midget card.
Well, now we come to the interesting question. Do I turn it over or do you? 52 cards in a deck. You want to? When I count to 3. Let's see if we can share a little bit of luck. 1, 2, 3.
Get out of here.
Lucky 7. I like this trick because it's an intense participation trick. Because I'm going to give someone a lucky card. I call this Lucky 7 for a lot of reasons. I got especially lucky during the shoot, but I get lucky a lot. I try and engineer that luck, and I'll tell you how. Even when I don't get lucky, this is a trick I do very, very frequently. My little prediction cards in my wallet, I have to keep changing them because the friction with my credit cards wears off the ink. That's how frequently I do this effect. This is sort of an offshoot of Self-Evident from my last series and also from the book Star Quality. I just started tinkering with it a little bit. I gave Paul Wilson a version of this trick for a project he was working on, and since that time he's had some experience with it, given me some wonderful tips on versions he has had great success with that I'll also tell you about. But let's get to it. In the wallet are 4 predictions. I use the 7s, no special reason. I always use the 7s and I continue to. I know where each 7 is. I use 4 different sections of my wallet. 7 of clubs is next to my auto club card. You do need to remember which card is where to to give this trick its full impact. Next to the auto club, yes, the 7 of clubs. 7 of hearts, as you saw in the presentation, is next to the Magic Castle card. I think I love the Magic Castle. I remember hearts next to the Magic Castle. Clubs, hearts, spades, we're using chased order. Spades is next to blockbuster gold. You know so much about my life now, because you dig for gold with a spade. Get it? That's how I remember the 7 of spades. That goes there. Finally, diamonds I keep next to my Writers Guild card in the last compartment. The idea, well, a good idea is a gem, right? Next to the Writers Guild card is the 7 of diamonds. These I carry with me always, and I'm always ready to do this trick. The first thing I talk about is how I have a lucky card. It's in my wallet with my credit cards. That's true about all 4 of them. And I put my wallet aside. It's visible. I go to no pocket during this effect. I now state that I want to give someone their own lucky card. And I ask someone, do you have a lucky card? Now, generally they will say no. And I go into the effect about how they can have a lucky card for themselves, and I show them how to do it. And I go to the deck and do that. Occasionally they'll say they do have a lucky card. If they say a lucky card, and I immediately say, oh, it's not going to be the same as my lucky card. What's yours? Queen of clubs. Oh, yeah, I have a different one. But we need someone without a lucky card. Is there someone here? Most people do not have a lucky card. Very frequently, if they have a lucky card, it will be a 7. One of the 7s that I have in my wallet. That happened during the performance. It also happens a lot in real life. It's not just luck, because you're engineering the moment. If they have a lucky card, there's a 1 in 13 chance it's going to be a 7. Those are decent odds for a miracle. If they don't have a lucky card, fine. If they have a lucky card and it's a completely different card, fine. We're looking for someone without a lucky card. That's how we look for a miracle. In this set I did, I got lucky and I got unlucky. Both will be explained. I got unlucky, not in this trick, another one, but we'll get to it in a second. There is a setup to this deck, but only 4 cards are set up, and those are the 4 7s, clubs, hearts, spades, and diamonds. They are at positions 6, 8, 10, and 12 in the deck. If they're not preset, you can have them on top, shuffle 2 cards on top of them, then do an in-pharaoh. Remember, you are only interlacing the top 4 cards. I will now have those 7s where I want them. The 7 of clubs is going to be the 6th card. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then every other card, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I have those cards where I want them. Now we do the effect. And if you know self-evident, you'll know pretty much how this works. But there's still a little bit of word play. You have to now do a little bit of equivoke. I have them cut the cards. Just as in self-evident, I say, hand me either half. It doesn't matter which. If they hand me the half with the 7s, I go, fine, I'll show you what you're going to do in a minute. I deal down a few cards, explaining you're going to deal down, stopping whenever you'd like. I then hand them back the half they picked. Seems totally logical. If they pick the half without the 7s, I take it and go, great, I'll demonstrate with these, and I demonstrate, and I give them the other cards to use for themselves. They're going to end up dealing down with the 7s. Here's what you have to do. The only mission now is to make them stop within the 7s. With the cards in their hand, explain that they're to deal down a card at a time. Let them get through a few. And explain that each time they deal a card, the moment that card hits the table, they have to think to themselves, luck be with me today. Notice I don't say, are you my lucky card? Luck be with me today. It took me a long time to realize that's the best thing to say. You're counting as they deal down. You're going to interpret where they've stopped based on where they stopped dealing. If they stopped on the 5th card, you would interpret this as the stop point. There they're going, luck be with me today. What does that do for you? It makes them deal slowly. Once they stop dealing, you can push these away and go, fine, you stopped right there. But if they dealt 6, of course you would say, fine, you stopped right there. In this case, you'd have the 7 of clubs. So you understand, so long as they stop within that 8-card spectrum, you have the clubs, the hearts, the spades, or the diamonds ready to go. That's how you end up arriving at a 7, just by counting their cards as they deal. Now you have to reveal the card. An interesting part of this effect is you don't necessarily need to reveal the card that they picked. In other words, let's say they stopped on the, spades. You could just put it aside. You know it's a 7 of spades. You could either have it face up or face down. It's up to you. I always go to the wrong pocket first. I go 7 of spades. I told you it was in with my credit cards. It's next to my Blockbuster Gold card. I'll take out the wrong one first and not expose, I know it's beneath my driver's card, any little card. Oh, that's not where I keep my Blockbuster Gold card. I'm sorry. But, you know, there is only one lucky card. Put these back. Now go to the appropriate spot. We know clubs, hearts, spades is going to be third compartment. I can toss these to the person. They can go through looking for my Blockbuster Gold card. Sure enough, they will take out a card. If they're both face down, you could have one person turn over one and another turn over the other. It seems absolutely impossible. For those of you who are afraid that people are going to go past the stock, in Self-Evident, I had a stock of 12 cards, and I realized after doing it for year after year after year, I didn't need that big of a stock. That's why I created this trick. I reduced the stock to only 8 cards, and they always land within the spectrum. I've never had them go past. If they go past, I do what I do in Self-Evident. I would ask them for the name of, if I don't know their name, I'd ask them for their name, the name of the person they're married to or they go out with, and they could spell back into the stock. In other words, if they went too far, you're married to Barry, spell B-A-R-R-Y, and get back into the stock. I have never had to do that, so I say this to you, but it's not going to even come in handy. This trick is called Lucky 7 because that little event that you saw happen during the performance hasn't just happened with me and other lay people, it's happened with me and other magicians. Dean Dale could tell you about a story of me in his shop with him, a bunch of magicians, where they called out some godforsaken 7, and there it was in my wallet. And what a great day that was. I hope you enjoy it.
So, this time I want to try something a little different. You know, I've had a lot of people picking cards and finding that sort of thing. I want to do something different. I'd like you to pull off, just cut off a small packet of cards, 10, 15, 20, okay. Any number at all. Okay? Now I'm going to turn around. You can make sure that I don't want, but what I want you to do is count quietly so that I don't know the number, okay? Count how many cards you've cut off, okay? And you can watch to make sure that I don't watch her. Okay? Now, there's no way I could have known how many cards she was going to cut off. No way that I can know the number of cards that she's counting now, unless, of course, I watch this tape later. And that's not going to do me much good. It'll be over. Okay? Do you have that done? Okay? Now, I'm going to count off. I'm going to make a row of cards just like this. And we're going to use these cards in a second. Let's see how I'm doing here. There's 3, 5, 10, there's 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. I'm guessing that that's more than you've cut off. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to count like this, and I'd like you to remember the card that falls at the number that you've cut off. Now, that's a pretty random way to come about a card. Okay. And here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. You got a card?
Got my card.
Keep that card in mind. I'm going to gather these cards up, and I'm going to have the cards themselves tell me the card that you just identified and remembered. You got it in your mind? Mm-hmm. Okay, and you can even overhear what I'm doing here. See those little... that's what I'm doing. Oh, let me think. It was the ace. It was an ace, wasn't it? Ace, yeah. Ace of. Did you get that? The of. Yeah, ace of. Ace of clubs. Ace of clubs. Was that your card?
My card.
Hey, I'll tell you what. Right. Now, you may think that maybe that's a sleight of hand kind of thing. It's not. It's not a sleight of hand thing. See, I knew that you were going to get the ace of clubs.
You did?
Oh, yeah, I knew it. Yeah, look, check it. Look. Look, down here in the center of the deck, there's one card that's red. And it just happens to be the ace of clubs. Now, I didn't just know before the trick started that you were going to pick the ace of clubs. I knew yesterday. Yesterday. Even before now, yesterday, that you were going to pick the ace of clubs. And that's when I wrote, what am I talking about? I wrote inside of there the ace of clubs to prove that I would know that you were going to cut to the ace of clubs. Now, I can figure that. As a magician, I can say, okay, yeah, I can see how that can all happen. But here's what I don't understand. There's no way I could have determined the number of cards she was going to cut off. No way I could have influenced that. You cut the cards anywhere you want it. But this is what I don't understand. How the one card that she cut to turned out to be the ace of clubs. That's what I can't figure out. And don't tell me how you did it. Don't ever tell me. That was a good thing. That was a good thing. I don't even want to know. I don't even want to know. This is the explanation of Overkill, created by Paul Harris, Allan, Ackerman, and Emberg. You begin by writing, you will select the ace of clubs on the flap of the card box. You put the ace of clubs on top of the deck, and the 21st card down from the top is the red-backed ace of clubs. You set the deck to you set the card box to one side and have the spectator cut off a small packet of cards. And then they reverse count those cards, which will put the ace of clubs on the bottom of their pack. In this case, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And they'll keep that packet over to one side. At this point, dealing from left to right, you'll lay out 20 cards. As you do so, you have to tilt the pack towards you to some extent so that they don't see that red-backed card being dealt down. So you deal out 20 cards. That's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. You count from the right to the left, asking them to remember the card that falls at the number that they cut off. So counting from right to left, they'll end up remembering the ace of clubs. It's the 21 card force. 21 down force, you square that packet up, put those on top, and from that point on, all you have to do is milk the effect. You predict the ace of clubs. Then you show one card, red-backed in the center, the ace of clubs. Then you reveal your prediction, and finally, you have them look at the card, which apparently they cut to. At this point, they've forgotten that they have reverse counted, and then you show that they seem to have cut right at the card that you predicted. That's the explanation of Overkill.
I'm going to go through here and, well, I'll take the very first picture cards that I find. It happens to be a jack, so let me add a couple of more. Okay, that'll be fine. 1, 2, 3 jacks. Would you put your hand on top of them? I'm going to take a card that's obviously not a jack. We'll call it an indifferent card, and I'm going to place it here. Would you place one of the jacks on top, please? Good. I'm going to take another indifferent card, place it on top like so. Would you place? And I'm going to take another one and place it on top. Would you do that? Okay, we have them separated by 3 indifferent cards. Would you tap those cards 3 times and then put them on the deck? Very good. And I just add a little wave of the hand like that, you see. This is called birds of a feather, because birds of a feather always flock together 1, 2, 3. Thank you. All you have to do to perform Birds of a Feather is find a lone picture card. Now, by a lone picture card, I mean a picture card that is surrounded by non-picture cards. For instance, I wouldn't want you to find picture cards together like this. This won't work. It has to be a lone picture card surrounded by non-picture cards. When you find one, it's a queen in this case, you push 2 cards over and you cut the deck. What that does is place that picture card third from the top. Now you're ready to perform. Now I go through and I say, I'm going to remove, I'll use a queen. I'll use a few queens. That should be enough. Now you take out the other 3 mates. Now we know the picture card that's third down is a red picture card. And we're going to get rid of this card eventually throughout the trick. So what I do is I pick this up and scoop it like so to place it on top of these 3 when I turn them over. If, for instance, it was set here, I would pick these 2 up and scoop up the other card and turn them over. The idea is to get that opposite color, that lone opposite color, above these other 2. That's all you have to do. These are turned over and you tell the spectator to put his hand on them. Now you say, I'm going to take a card off the deck that's obviously not one of those queens and a different card, and I'm going to place it here. Would you place one of the queens on top? Now you say, I'm going to place another indifferent card, and you kind of flash the face of this as you set it down. You say, would you put another queen on top? Now you say, I'm going to place another indifferent card. In reality, this is the other queen. They're not aware of that. And I say, and you place it on top. Would you now place the last queen there? Now, you ask them to square the cards up, and you ask them to place them on the deck and tap the deck 3 times. Now, the reason for all of this is so they forget what the 3 queens are. You never mention the suits. And now you say, watch. This is called Birds of a Feather. They flock together. Watch. 1 queen, 2 queens, 3 queens.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Now, I know a couple of you dabble in magic a little bit. Isn't that true? You do a little bit of magic. So have you ever heard of a 21 card trick? It's a classic, right? It's a classic trick. And the way, and even a lot of people know that. Olga, you may know this too. Did you ever hear of the 21 card trick?
Yes.
Okay, tell us about it. No, just kidding. No, the 21 card trick is a trick that magicians have done for years. And usually what happens, you put out 3, here, I'll show you. You put out 3 piles of 7 cards each, 3, 6, 7, and 3, 6, 7. And then what happens is the magician has to deal these cards several times, and each time asking you which row your card is in. And finally, after 3 or 4 times, he's able to find your card. I'm going to show you a little better version of that, okay? And I'll start with you, okay, Olga? I want you to pick up any pile of your choice, any one, and give it a shuffle. Just mix it up real good. Yes. Those are beautiful rings. Do they come off? They are. They're very pretty. Mix them up. My wife loves jewelry. I bring her home little thing. Okay? Now, are they all shuffled? I want you to fan them out in front of your face. Fan them out. And just think of any one of those cards. Don't take it out or point to it. Just think of one. Let me know when you got it. Don't forget it, okay? Close them up and shuffle them so even you don't know what the card is. So now you're thinking of a card you don't even know where it is. There's no way I can know where it is, okay? Place them back here, and then pick up the next pile and give those a shuffle. You're doing fine. This is really good. Shuffle them up. There you go. That's great. And you got 1 more to go, okay? Very good. Go ahead, pick up those and give those a shuffle. And then we're going to, so all the cards are completely mixed up. Shuffle them up. And then I'm going to give them 1 more shuffle, and then I'm going to try to find your card. Probably not, but hey, I'll give it a shot, okay? Is that fair? All right?
Yes.
So I'm going to give the cards a little shuffle. Like this, and like that, and like that. Perfect, okay. So now I'm going to deal the cards out like this, and Olga, I want you to watch for your card, okay? Now I assume you've seen your card already, right? Okay, so I'm going to deal them out in a row. Concentrate on your card. All I want you to do is, for the first time, tell me which row is your card in. Which row is it in? It's in the middle row, okay? And now I have 1 more question for you, Olga. Would you, for the first time, name your card out loud? Oh, very good. Wow, boy, I got lucky there. Wow. Very good. Tell you what. Thank you. You know what? Let's try it again. Let's see if we can improve on the trick. Try to make the trick even better. We'll try to improve it just a little more. Once again, I'm going to start off. I'll give the cards a little mixing like this. That's all part of the act. I just wash my hands. I can't do a thing with them. So what I will do is I will deal out the cards, 3 rows of 7. That's 6, 7, and that's 3, 6, 7. So do me a favor, Scotty. Pick up any pile of your choice, and I want you to give them a shuffle. Okay? Mix them up. And then I want you to stop, and I want you to look at the bottom card, remember it, and then place them back down here. That's good. You did fine. And then do me a favor, pick up those, shuffle those, and put those over here. And then take the last pile, shuffle those. You're doing great.
Okay.
And do me a favor, I want you to put those down. Make sure your pile goes in the middle. That's important, always important. And then put those on top. That's great.
Okay.
So there's no way I can know your card?
No way you can know.
Then shuffle them. Go ahead, shuffle them all. It made no sense. Put them in the middle. I just said that kind of throw you people off. All right, shuffle them up. Okay. Now, you got to admit, this time there is no way I can know the card. I mean, he shuffled everything. He's still shuffling everything. That's awesome. All right, I'm going to try to find a card, Scotty. Once again, I'm going to deal them out. Now, if you remember last time, I did ask a question to old guy. I think I asked her which row her card was in. This time, we're going to improve the trick, hopefully by not asking that question. I am going to ask you a question, Scotty, but I'm not going to ask you the same question. All I'm going to ask you is, what was the name of your card?
Ace of Hearts.
Thank you. You know what? This trick, it's working pretty well, but I do think we can make it better. I think we can improve the trick. Let's give it a try, okay? I'm going to once again make 3 piles of 7. That's 3, 6, 7, and 3, 6, and 7. And this time, Angela, would you be kind enough to pick up any pile you want, and give them a shuffle, mix them up. And you can shuffle them as much as you want. And when you're finished, when you're satisfied, I want you to just take a look at the bottom card and remember it. Okay? Remember that in your mind. Put them back on top of here. And then take these. And if you want, you can shuffle those and put those on top. It doesn't matter. I know the trick. Okay? That's very good. You're doing good. Okay? I'm going to give them just a little shuffle. These are secret shuffles. I can't even tell you what I'm doing. Okay, I'm going to deal them out. I remember the first time I asked a couple of questions. I think I asked her a question. I asked him a different question. This time I'm going to try to ask you just a couple, okay? I'm going to deal them out like this, okay? And I assume you've seen your card already. Okay. And do me a favor, Angela, for the first time, which row is your card in? You know what, let's just stop it right here. What do you say? Let's just stop it right here. That's the 21 card trick. Thank you very much. Hi everybody, welcome to the School of the 21 card trick. Most laymen know how to do the 21 card trick, but this is a version that will fool magicians and laymen as well. There's been many versions of Marlowe's 21 card trick in print, and there's one in the Tears book called the Nouveau 21 card trick. Dave Solomon has had routines, as well as Steve Drawn had an excellent routine in his book, Secrets Drawn from the Underground. The version I'm about to show you and the version I did during the performances is actually a combination of all three. So let's get down to it. The 21 card trick. We begin by making 3 piles of 7, 3, 6, 7, 3, 6, 7. So we start off with the preliminary patter. We ask everyone if they've ever heard of the 21 card trick, and you'll be surprised how many times they have heard about it and they can do it. So if they do and have heard about it, you talk a little bit about how this is the 21 card trick outdone. And you begin by asking the spectator to pick up any packet and give it a shuffle. So let's just say they pick up the middle packet. When you're done shuffling, you tell them to look through it and think of any card in their mind. Let's just assume that the spectator thinks of the Queen of Hearts. You then tell the spectator to shuffle the cards up so even she doesn't know which one is the Queen of Hearts, okay? Now you have her pick up another packet and shuffle it. And when she's done, she puts that down. You tell her to pick up the third packet and shuffle it. As she's shuffling that, you just casually drop the packet with her Queen of Hearts on top of the other packet. Now she shuffles the third packet and just gesture for her to drop that on top of all. Now you pick up the cards and you say, there's no way I can know your card. I can't know where it is. You don't even know where it is. You shuffled them so much. So I'm going to give the cards a little shuffle. And this is the shuffle sequence you use. You go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then drop the cards. Then you shuffle 1, 2, 3, 4, put these at the back, and shuffle 1, 2, 3, 4, and then throw them forward. Now you're done. What you did was you distributed those 7 cards, so the possibilities are now one of the top 3 cards is the Queen of Hearts, or one of the bottom 4 cards is the Queen of Hearts. In this case, it's here on the bottom, okay? It could have been here, could have been here. It doesn't matter where it arrives, because the next phase is how you reveal it to the spectator. You start dealing out the cards in a row. You don't know what the card is yet, by the way. You start dealing the cards out in a row, and after you've dealt the first 8 cards, you say to the spectator, I assume you've seen your card already. But you continue dealing like you're not really listening or paying attention. They will say yes or no. If they say yes, you know it has to be one of the top 3 because of that distribution shuffle. If they say no, you just say, oh, don't tell me. I'm just going to keep dealing. So you keep dealing, and now you stop the deal when you have 1 card left in your hand. That might be the spectator's card. If it is, you turn it over, you have a miracle. I'll show you what I mean. So you say to the spectator, which pile has your card? Now, she was thinking of the Queen of Hearts, so she's going to say it's here. So what you do is you say, okay, it's in this row. Now you start scooping up each pile. But you save the pile they named till the end. And as you're asking the question, for the first time, name your card. Remember to time that question so the card is sitting on the table when the spectator names their card. This is the powerful impact. The people realize that you had to have known that card before you started scooping them up. Now you're going to go on to the second phase of the 21 card trick, which is really clever. It's a Steve drawn idea, and he fooled me with this really badly. This is really great. You start off by dealing 3 rows of 7. Except for 2 things. This time you spread them out face up the way I did. I also make sure that the top card of each one is showing. Now, the next phase is based upon the fact that if you ask a spectator to shuffle cards and you've been demonstrating using an overhand shuffle, most people will use an overhand shuffle. The second point is that when people do overhand shuffle, they usually start by shuffling the first card and then they shuffle off. Even if they don't, this trick will still work, but I'm going to show you what happens when they do. Remember again, I have each of these cards side jogged so I can see them. So I ask the spectator to pick up any packet and give them a shuffle. Let's say he picks up this packet first. I look, I remember the Jack of Spades. Now I watch his shuffle. If he shuffles 1 card and then shuffles off, I say stop. Look at the bottom card and then reshuffle. That way I already know his card is the Jack of Spades. But let's say that he picked up this pile and he didn't shuffle the Jack of Spades at the bottom. Doesn't matter. I just say place them back down, pick up another packet, give those a shuffle, stop if he does, and look at it. If he didn't shuffle that card singly, I have a third chance over here. So let's say the third time he does do it. He shuffles, he looks at the bottom card, I already know it's a 6 of diamonds. So now I can have him place all the packets together, and I tell him to shuffle everything. So he takes the cards and he shuffles everything. Okay? Now I deal, because I know the cards, it doesn't matter where it comes out in the deal this time. So I deal out the 3 piles looking for his card, the 6 of diamonds. So I see it there in the center pile. So I tell him last time, I asked you which row your card was in. This time I'm not going to ask you anything except for one important thing. What was the name of your card? And again, I'm putting that card out there before they can give me an answer. Very, very strong. Before we get to phase 3, let me just show you what would have happened if all 3 packets, they did not do the shuffle correctly. Okay? What you do in that case is when they do the last packet, whether they shuffle it correctly or not, you tell them just remember the bottom card. You then place this packet in the middle. you pick them up and you shuffle 7 cards, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 1 card. Now the bottom card will be their card. All you do is glimpse it, give it another shuffle, and you finish the same way looking for the 5 of diamonds, whatever card you glimpsed, okay? The third phase is a Dave Solomon idea, and it's my favorite phase of the routine because it's humorous. And it's done by dealing the cards all face down, and you say which row is it in, and you get these laughs in between. And this is the way it works. For the third phase, you again put out 3 piles of 7 face down on a table like this. You have the spectator pick up any pile and shuffle it. When they're done, you have them look at the bottom card, or even better, when they're done, you have them lift up some cards and you tell them, look at the bottom card, but don't put them back. Instead, you point to one of the other 2 piles. Instead, put them over there. So their card is the Ace of Hearts and they place it over here. You say, now to lose it, drop all those cards on top and then take these and drop them on top of all. Now it looks like there's no way you can know where that card is. It's actually the 14th card from the top. So now you shuffle 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 1. That card, the Ace of Hearts they thought of, is now the bottom card. So now you start dealing, and after you deal a few, you say, I assume you've seen your card already. This will get a laugh. And then you deal some more, and you say, for the first time, just tell me which row is your card in. That'll get another laugh. Then you say, better yet, let's just end it here. You turn that card over, and that's it. The 21 card.
Oh. Ah, wow. Whoa. Ah, thank you. Okay, would you help Mr. Magic for just a moment, please? Reach in there, grab out any one of the 52 cards, hold it up high, let everyone see what it is. Perfect. Please remember it, and place it back, oh, say, there. That's as good a spot as any. I'm going to attempt something that's very difficult. Without even looking at the deck, I will shuffle the cards and cut to the cards you selected, what we call a dead cut in the gambling business. You ready? Watch. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. It should be 27 from the top. If I cut 26, that should be it. I believe I have your card. What was the name of your card?
The 6 of Hearts.
6 of Hearts. Ladies and gentlemen, the 6 of Hearts. Thank you. Oh. Next, I'd like to show you 3 different methods for forcing a card. The first one is simply the cross-cut force. If you'd like to learn more methods for forcing a card, the best way to do this, of course, is the Encyclopedia of Card Sleights video series by L&L Publications. What you do is you get the chosen card or the force card on the top of the deck, and one presentation is for the magician to turn his head aside, shuffle the deck thoroughly, just make sure, of course, you keep the selection on the top, and then you say, I will cut the pack at a random position, cut anywhere, cross the bottom half, place it on top like this. Now you talk a little bit, you say, now remember, you picked a card, you put it back in the deck, I thoroughly shuffled, then, without even looking, I cut at a random spot in the pack. What was the name of your card? They'll tell you the 2 of diamonds. You lift up, you turn it over, and apparently you cut to the selected card. So basically this is performing the cross-cut force where the magician does the cutting.
We're going to eliminate some of these cards. Okay. Your name is?
Tone.
Tone. Give me a number between 5 and 10.
7.
Count down to the 7th card.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You notice I counted with you?
Yes.
I've done this before. Show everyone the card but me. Tell me when to stop.
I didn't see you. Okay. Stop.
Put the card right there.
Okay.
Okay. Now, here's the question. Do you think your card is still in the deck?
In the middle, yeah. I do.
Do you really?
I hope so.
You're very beautiful. I mean, that's not your card. I mean, I just want to, I just wanted to show you. Sure, I could do that. No, your card is in the deck.
Oh, okay.
No, it really is in the deck.
It is.
Yeah. Here, I'll tell you what. I will show you every card in this deck, and you make sure your card is there, but do not say a word.
Okay.
See it?
Yes,
Okay. Your card should be red or black. What was it?
it was black.
Could have been a spade or a club. What was it?
It was a club.
See, by this clever line of questioning, I can have your card in no time. Well, okay. Well, I'll show you how this works. Say you picked a red card. Say you picked the 10 of diamonds.
Okay.
I could find the 10 of diamonds several ways. One way would be to run through the deck and look for it, but the more magical way is to spell it. T-E-N, 10. O-F, of. D-I-A-M-O-N-D, and on the S, you get the 10 of diamonds. Well, yeah, I mean, it works with every card in the deck. So did you pick a what? A spade or a club?
I was a club.
Okay, well, say you picked the spade. Say you picked the 10 of spades. Same thing. T-E-N, 10.
Right.
O-F,
Right.
of. S-P-A-D-E, and on the S, you get the 10 of... It works with every card in the deck. You spell your card.
Okay. K-I-N-G
King.
of C-L-U-B-S. That's great.
That's amazing.
Well, those people seem to have a lot of fun with this trick in the bar, didn't
Yes,
they?
they did.
Yes. As I said, I learned this when I was 15 years old in Chicago at Dixon Norb's Magic Inn, this kind of wonderful blue-collar bar that my father used to take me to on Friday evenings, every other Friday. And Alex Perez, who was very inspirational to me because Alex had a really small repertoire, maybe 10 tricks, maybe 12, but he had mastered every one of them. And that, for a 15-year-old, was really important to see. Now, spelling tricks, of course, go back to the 19th century. There's the spelling bee, which was more of a puzzle than a trick. The first magical spelling, pick-a-card spell trick is Charles Shepard from the Sphinx in 1908, called the Magic Spell. Perhaps not that fabulous a trick, but certainly a terrific idea. As I said, this is really a card force with a lot of theater around it. So I use a variety of forces. The one I happen to use in the bar is the 5-10 force, which is a good one to know. And here's how it goes. The 7th card is the force card, and I tend to use the king of clubs because then I always know what it is. And this is 7th from the top. So I say to someone, maybe I'll give the deck a shuffle, keeping that top stock in place, and then say to someone, we're going to eliminate some of these cards. Give me a number between 5 and 10. Let's look at that. Give me a number between 5 and 10. What I discovered, and this you have to verify for yourself, maybe this just works for me, maybe it doesn't, find out. If I say to someone, give me a number between 5 and 10, my experience is that they might say 5 or 10, which I can't do. So I began putting this pause in, an audible pause. Give me a number between 5 and 10. And I find that very rarely do people ever say 5 or 10 then. But what if they do? That's what you're thinking? I just read your mind.
Exactly.
Yes. Well, what I do is I just say, David, no. People are going to think you're my cousin. Make it harder.
Right.
That's what I do. So now I've eliminated 5 and 10, so I only have to deal with 6, 7, 8, and 9. So, if they say 6, I do not touch the deck. I already said we were going to eliminate some cards. That was my premise. So I say, okay, eliminate 6 cards. Deal them face up. And of course, by dealing them face up, there's no way we can use them. And so we then use the 7th card. On the other hand, as Tone did on the bar, he said 7. So then again, I don't touch the deck. I just say pick up the deck and count to the 7th card. You'll find that most people do say 7, so you get a direct hit. What about 8 and 9? They're my favorites. 8, you count by 2. Well, let me reverse this card so you can see what happens even better. There's my 4th card, 7th from the top. If they say 8, I pick up the deck and count the cards without reversing their order by 2s. And it looks like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 cards. And I push the cards toward them. On the other hand, if they say 9, I count by 3s without reversing their order. So it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 cards, and we'll put those right over there. And so I force the card.
Now, doesn't there have to be some sort of pause or break in order to cover up the oddness of that procedure?
Yes. What I would do would be, if they did 8 or 9, after I did 8 cards, I would start talking a bit. And then I would say, okay, turn that card over, and I would take the rest of them and show the card around. When the card is returned to the deck, I want to get it near the bottom. And so you say stop.
Stop.
Pretty close to the bottom, aren't I? But let's say you said stop way there. Okay, then I would just kind of do an estimation. Well, now I have a sense of where that card is, you know? And now I'm going to just cut a few cards to the top to get it closer to the bottom. And then I do the worst card palm I can imagine, where I let it even be visible. And now I come back here with the card clumsily palmed, look the spectator in the eye, again, this is where the theatrics start, and say, do you believe your card is still in the deck? Well, you get one of 2 answers, don't you? Some people say, no, it's in your hand. And then I do, you mean this card? Well, that's not your card. Or they say, yes, it is in the deck. And then I just kind of feel it's an indictment of American education. And I say, oh, are you sure it's in the deck? And they say, well, and I go, bum, 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 bum. Now, and then, of course, they laugh because they think that is their card. And I turn it over and say, but that's not your card, of course. I just did that to show you I could do that. But your card really is in the deck. And of course, that's
You've made me skeptical
right.
about
That's exactly
it.
what's
Right.
going to happen, isn't it? And I said, no, it really is in the deck. And of course, now you're even a little more suspicious. But look what I've done. I have given myself, as the actor says, motivation to now show you the cards. The only thing I have to do here is make sure you don't talk before I'm finished. Because if I just start getting here and then you say, oh, I see it, I'm dead. So I can't let that happen. So I say to you, oh, no, your card really is in the deck, seriously. In fact, I will prove it to you, but don't say a word. I will show you every card in this deck, but don't say a word, just make sure your card is there. Fair? Okay, now I start going through the cards, and this is where it gets interesting because I'm not doing this. No. What I'm doing is taking the cards away.
Why?
Because when I get to your card, the King of Clubs, I can now start spelling without looking.
And without changing the counting procedure.
And without changing the Kingoflubs. I look at the next card, Joker. I look at the next card, Sevenofclubs. Did you see your card yet, by the way? And I put these cards on the bottom. If I were to be a couple cards short, I would just transfer them from the top to the bottom. I'm fairly brazen about that.
Can you run through that procedure one more time?
Sure. Let me start shuffle the deck, though, so we have different cards to get the idea. The fourth card will still be the King of Clubs, which is near the bottom. So I'm taking the cards away. See? And when I hit the card, I start the spell. K-I-N-G-O-F-C-L-U-B-S. And now I look at the next card. T-E-N-O-F-D-I-A-M-O-N-D-S. Look at the next card. Q-U-E-E-N-O-F-H-E-A-R-T-S. By the way, did you see your card yet?
So the excess cards go on the bottom of the deck.
Yes. And if you know a false shuffle, this is a pretty good time to do one. Why not? Now, I've got the Queen of Hearts, the 10 of Diamonds, and the Force card. But I want to play with you and have some fun with this. So I say, was your card red or black?
Red.
Oh, it could have been a heart or a diamond. What was it?
But I'm lying.
Oh, but no, you have to tell the truth because they would tell the truth.
Oh, okay.
I don't permit spectators to lie.
Magicians don't tell the
Punished.
truth, Eugene.
Oh, you're a magician, right. I remember. Okay. No, I would say to you, tell the truth. Was your card red or black?
Black.
Okay, it could have been a spade or a club, right?
Correct.
What was it?
It was a club.
But by this clever line of questioning, I'll have your card in no time. But say you picked a red card. Say you picked the most famous of all red cards, the Queen of Hearts. I could find that card two ways. I could look through the cards, efficient but slow, but I could also find it magically by spelling it. Oh yeah, look. Q-U-E-E-N spells queen. O-F spells of. H-E-A-R-T, and on the S, I emphasize that, well, you get the Queen of Hearts. Well, that works with all the cards of diamonds. Say you pick the 10 of Diamonds, T-E-N 10, O-F of, D-I-A-M-O-N-D, and on the S, the 10 of Diamonds. Well, it works with all the cards in the deck. You spell your card.
K-I-N-G-O-F-C-L-U-B-S.
And that's how you take a card force, put some theatrics around it, and end up with a wonderfully playful, magical experience.